What are we training here? Baseball players or something? Yes.
Okay, today's class is sponsored again by Avram Maradian. Okay, let's go. It's late. Yesterday we learned that the Kruvim, the big face, the little face represents the Momata Lamaila, Momaila Lamata. Okay, the relationship between Hashem and the Jews. But now, page Pei, first column. But now that the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the Nignas were Kruvim, and the Kruvim were buried together with the Orin, meaning that level of Atzilus was not continued anymore. This is the request of the Yidden, which is what the Maimer began. Hashem, how will you give us? Please give us again the relationship of a brother. Just like in the time of the Beis HaMikdash that there were Achim, it says in the pasuk about the Kruvim, Ufneim ish el Achiv. The two Kruvim, they faced to his brother. That means the Kruvim are called brothers. So now this is the request, what we say in the time of Galus, Mi'itencha ka'achli. Will you only make it again like the revelation of the Kruvim in the time of the Beis HaMikdash? I know how is this by learning Torah. How do we reincarnate, so to speak, the Kruvim, that relationship between Hashem and the Jews? That's through the level of Torah. The Gemara says, once the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, where does Hashem find himself? In the 4 cubits of Halacha, meaning Torah. This is what it says, he nurses from the breasts of the mother, which is Torah Shebal Peh, which is which represents Torah Shebal Peh, and then skip a few lines. That's why Torah is called Cholav. Torah is a lot of names. Torah is called Lechem, Torah is called Mayim, Torah is called Cholav. One of the reasons why we eat dairy and cheesecake and Shavuos is because Torah is called Cholav. Like it says, Luchol Shivro Yayim v'Cholav go by. Yayim v'Cholav, which refers to different aspects of Torah. What's the connection between Torah Shebal Peh and the nursing child? When a baby is very young, when it's born, is very, very small. And by nursing from the milk of the mother, his limbs become bigger. And also the brain, so to speak, like then he learns how to speak, and so the brain becomes finished also. And therefore eventually from birth he doesn't speak, he doesn't walk, but by eating the sustenance from the mother he's able to talk and walk and all that. So how does this have referred to us? He says, before neshamas come into this world, meaning before they're born, now the Rebbe says like this, before the neshama is born, before the neshama comes into the body, it says, before it comes into the body, the neshamas are in the fetal state in Malchus of Atzilus, because they have to get ready to come down. So, like a baby, the neshama comes into the world. So he says, and therefore, and therefore, when the neshama finally comes into the body, in Bria Yitzir and Asiya, then it's called Leda, then it's called birth. So he says, the birth of the neshama, which means the revelation of the neshama, is when a person is born, when the neshama comes into the body. When is it in the pregnancy state? Before the neshama comes down. It's ready to come down from Malchus of Atzilus. And then the neshama comes through the stages of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, depending what type of neshama it is. And then it's born, so that's the gilui of the neshama.
But still comes to matter, no?
And therefore, what is the baby doing within the mother? They learn Torah.
But isn't Neshama come all the way down to matter? Or is some of them...
No, Malchus of Atzilus. From there, it comes down into the body.
The baby learns in the mother the Torah. The baby is already learned before.
No.
In the womb.
In the womb of the mother, the Gemara says. Then the angel comes and goes, you know.
They teach everything and then
Right.
So these, we know about these things already. This is just a review for us.
Correct. The reason, the question is, if we're going to forget it. Anyway, the Malach smacks, gives us the thing, in Yiddish it's called a schnell unter the nose, a whack under the nose. So why in the world do you learn it to begin with? He teaches it to us, and then we forget and go learn it again. So what is it? So Chassidus explains, because for neshama in a body, to understand Torah, which is the Eibishter's wisdom, one thing with Hashem, it had to have a connection earlier before the neshama was in the body. So that's before it's born. So therefore the Tinnik b'mei imei is taught Torah in purity from the Malach, that allows it that later on he can learn it again because he already has a connection to it. If the baby wouldn't learn Torah within the womb of the mother, that means he has no connection whatsoever to Torah, the neshama wouldn't be able to learn Torah down here.
It's a prerequisite.
What about the convert?
It's a trial run, practice run.
How does it work for a convert?
Same thing.
Somebody who born non-Jewish. So there is no such a thing.
They do.
They still do.
They're still a ger from the beginning. Still Yiddish and neshama. They were present in Matan Torah. They had this. It's not a guy, like we said. The guy doesn't convert. The ger converts. So that level applies to them also. But in a certain respect, it's late. In a certain respect, when is a ger's birthday? So I spoke about this a while ago. When does a ger celebrate his birthday?
It's difficult, it is regular.
So there are letters from the Rebbe that he should celebrate the day they became a ger. But the Rebbe cannot mean not the other birthday. Because if you say a ger is a newborn baby, that means a boy who converts at the age of 20 would need 13 years to become bar mitzvah. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. So obviously the biological age still matters. Now what makes that year change the birthday? So obviously he has his regular birthday that he was physically born. But there's a spiritual birthday. Like in Hayom Yom yesterday, the Rashbat celebrated his birthday. That doesn't mean he didn't celebrate the other birthday. Right? He had to become bar mitzvah. I mean, what kapitel tilim did he say? He didn't say kapitel aleph. You know what I mean? So obviously, it means you also celebrate the additional birthday, the day they converted.
Wow!
And instead of Chama, we gave you this guy here. Look, from Boston.